So, keywords in the context of reading. They're amazing for developing your comprehension, excellent in training your memory, perfect for developing all sorts of brainy tools, flashcards, mind maps, all sorts of mnemonics, mind palaces. But how do we find those keywords to fill our brains and systems with them? Here are 5 strategies to do exactly that. And the first one is to always start with the index of your text. And here's a perfect example of that in Ryan Holiday's Daily Stoic, a perfect collection of keywords. You get the ones that are relevant to your studies, done. But what if your index is not like that? Well, in that case, you go and look for an appendix. And a very good example for that are the books of Daniel Goleman. Now, as you can see, the index here doesn't give us a lot of information. However, if we go to the end of the book, you can see all of the most important ideas summarized, so there's no reason not to use that to our advantage. But what if there's no appendix? Well, a third strategy is to go to the segment that you want to study, look at the title, and look for any other subtitles that may contain the desired key information. And here's an example of that from Robert Greene's Mastery. Now, although he's a master at producing very detailed indexes for us to use and enhance our studies with, I'd like to point out something else. As you go through each chapter, you can see that it's divided into segments, and each segment carries its own title, and we can use these titles to extract keywords from them. But what if the titles and subtitles of your text are not that useful? Well, the next strategy is to consider the beginning and ending of the segment that you're studying. The reason this works is that authors use these segments to either introduce the ideas that they're about to discuss or to summarize that which they've just presented as a form of conclusion. In the book Atomic Habits, for example, James Clear provides a summary at the end of each chapter, which, as you can imagine, can prove a quite valuable resource of keywords. Now, you're not going to have a summary separated like that in each and every book that you read. However, there's a great chance that the author has articulated a paragraph or two in the beginning or the end of the segment that you're studying, or both, that shares the same purpose, and you can use it to extract the information that you need there. But what if the keywords that you're finding are still not enough? Well, yet another strategy is to skim through the content that you're about to study and find everything that it's written somehow differently. So here's an example of that from one of my handbooks on educational psychology. This one segment, 3 assumptions underlying the model meaning the information processing theory in this case. The first cool thing here is that we have all 3 assumptions mentioned in the beginning of the paragraph. But the other cool thing is that as I go through the paragraph, I see other words, in this case in italic, which are also keywords. In this case, they're in italic, but they may be also bolded, or maybe numbered or written in capital letters. Whatever it may be, it's content that stands out. And if it is written differently, then there's a high chance that it's keyword worthy. But what if you don't have even that, and you still think that you need more? As you read through your segment, paragraph by paragraph, section by section, you get to extract and determine the words that have that keyword value. For example, here's Daniel Kahneman's Thinking Fast and Slow. We have the title, which represents 3 keywords in itself. However, if we apply the strategy that I've just mentioned, we can get even more out of the content. One way to apply it is to read through a whole paragraph and then determine the words that may have any keyword value. Another way to use the strategy would be to go through more of the material first, like these paragraphs here, because they actually go together in that case, and then identify some keywords. And if you're going to apply the technique like that, I would invite you to try and come up with keywords from memory first, before going back through the contents again and extracting things directly. In doing so, you further train your recall and facilitate the memory for the new piece of information that you're acquiring. And just like that, you now have not only 5, but 6 strategies for finding all the necessary keywords while reading. And that is all I have for you for this one. Thank you for watching, keep it bright, and I'll see you in the next one.